Hello YouTube, this is Quaker Piper here. Hope you're all well. Oh, it's windy. Just sitting outside the flat, enjoying a lovely pipe of this one, full Virginia flake. It's really nice. Really getting to like it. It's just, yeah, it's kind of the perfect middle ground of what Virginias can be. Like, it's not too rich, it's not too citrusy, it's not too toasted, it's not too flat. It's really good. That it doesn't mean that it's kind of middle ground doesn't mean that it's boring, it's just really good. I guess that's why it often is referred to as kind of the standard for Virginias. I can see that. It's nice. Kind of ugly and nice tin cover at the same time. So, today I just wanted to give you a couple of kind of my 3 suggestions for autumn blends to smoke. I saw Quaker Piper did a similar thing. Sorry that. And I'm not quite sure if that was a VR, I can't remember. But if it is, I'd like to do it completely without being part of someone's VR. Because I don't know who posted that in the first place. Anyway, or maybe I misunderstood that it was some other part of his video that was the VR. Anyway, this is a VR to Quaker Piper because that's where I got the idea from. So I've got 3 blends that I want to recommend, and it's a bit along the same lines as Quaker Piper because he suggested 3 kind of stouter blends. It's becoming autumn, getting colder. The leaves here in Norway, in Oslo, are definitely turning yellow and red. It's really beautiful. I was up in the woods today with my wife, and the colours are just beautiful. And it's getting colder, so a more hearty blend is something that a lot of people prefer, including me. But I figured I wanted to, do 3 blend recommendations that were not typical like English blends, because I know a lot of people smoke like Virginias or aromatics in the summer and then they tend to go towards English blends in the winter, which makes sense because there's often more powerful flavours in it. But I figured I'd try to make something that is not so Virginia heavy, and I realised afterwards obviously one of the blends I've chosen has Virginia in it, but I wouldn't say it's a English blend or a typical Virginia blend, so we'll see. First on my list is one that I don't have the tin of because I've never bought it myself, but I've got a quite quite generous sample that I got in a sample trade with Joe, Badler's gnome Joe. It's Haunted Bookshop by Cornwall and Deal. It consists of Virginias and Burley with a touch of Perique, it says. And I thought it was a bit more than a touch. I have to say though, actually, it's a bit wet. I thought I would try to smoke it without, that is the full Virginia flake, not Haunted Bookshop. The full Virginia flake is a bit wet, like most Samuel Gower flakes, and I thought I would try to smoke it without drying it out, just to see how it is, and the flavour's the same. Maybe it bites slightly bit more, tiny bit more, but it does need a lot more relighting. So back to Haunted Bookshop. When I smoked it, I thought there would be a bit more actually than a pinch of Perique, because it really comes through. You've got that really like solid boldness, like almost like strong flavour from the Burleys, but there's also that kind of Virginia sweet backbone that's really nice. A sort of a sour fruitiness-ish to it. It's really good, and I think that is a really good autumn blend as well. There. Got to overlight this one a bit when it's this wet. So that's number 1, Cornell and Deal Haunted Bookshop. Second one is one that also featured in my last video. It's the Bothy Flake by Samuel and Gowarth. Also one that needs a little drying. I did smoke it wet once. It was alright, needed more lighting, but I can't say it affected any other qualities of it. Left more moisture in the bowl, obviously. It's super good. So that's the blend. Bothy Flake has the tin. I've transferred the contents into this jar. And they come in nice little, no not little, big beef jerky like flakes that smell wonderfully of smoke and whiskey. Smells like not like this typical sweet whiskey flavour that you get in American aromatics, or even in like Gowan and Hogarth aromatic blends, but I'm sorry about the noise. There's always much more cars driving past here when I'm filming than otherwise. But it smells and tastes like real whiskey, and that's what it is. It's just soaked in whiskey, not some kind of whiskey flavoured syrup. And the tobacco itself is mainly Virginia, but with some Latakia in it. So that's the blend. That's the blend with Latakia in that I have on this list. Though it kind of comes across together with the kind of quite peaty whiskey. It comes across more as a bonfire smokiness than the kind of heavy, kind of a light bonfire smokiness than the quite like strong Latakia one. Don't know how to explain it, but kind of smells more like burning wood somehow. Maybe it's the peat in the whiskey, but it's a really good blend, and the Virginias in it is they're really sweet, nice. So that's number 3. No, sorry, number 2. Number 3 on my list is one that I've actually not smoked in a long while, but that I'm looking forward to digging into this winter, like I had last winter. Like I did last winter, and that is the one and only, trying to hide the horrible label on, Gowan and Hogarth Rivet Plug. And this is a continuation of, it says it was formerly produced by Manchester Tobacco, which I don't know, they probably don't exist anymore. This is an unopened one that I'm not going to open, but I'm not going to open it now anyway, but I've got this. It's my little Rivet Plug jar. Comes in a nice little block. It breaks apart really easily. If you slice it across the grain, it kind of comes apart in little bits that you can put right in your pipe. Needs a little drying, so don't put it right in your pipe, straight in your pipe. Really good blend. There too, a lot of sweetness. It's Virginia's and Kentucky, so it's got a very like smoky, and there's why I think it's a good autumn blend. It's got that bold, heavy, smoky flavour, but it's not a latakia smokiness. It's kind of smoky from the fire curing. So yeah, that's a really good blend. It's quite strong, so if you want to try it for the first time and you're a nicotine sensitive person like I am, for instance, just do a small bowl. Can bite quite a bit as well if it's smoked too fast, so it's a bit of a fiddly tobacco really, but it's one that is definitely worth trying, and it's also very, can you get that feeling of smoking a very traditional tobacco. And although it might not be produced by the original producers, Manchester Tobacco, it's still produced by Gowerth and Hogarth in Lake District, so you know that's good quality. Sorry there, I got a little interrupted. Yeah, so I don't know how long it is since River Plug was produced by Manchester Tobacco. It's now being produced by Gowerth and Hogarth, so although those are not the original traditional producers of that tobacco, it's still a company that produces a lot of really traditional tobacco, and that dates quite far back as a company. So certainly a very English tobacco, although not an English blend. So that's it, yeah. Oh yeah, I was going to show you this. It's my very improvised tamper, which actually is a fossil. And I think it actually, I picked it up because I couldn't, as I was going out now to have a pipe, I couldn't find my normal tamper. So I found this instead and used that. And it works quite well, so I might actually just start using this as a tamper. It's a fossil that I found. Well, I assume it's a fossil. If some of you know better, tell me. Would be interested in knowing what it is. I just assume it's a fossil of some kind of worm or something. I've got it off the near around from the beach, or the kind of the cliffs and the beach nearby Eastbourne in England, south coast of England, and there's a lot of kind of chalk stone cliffs there, lots of flint, etc. And I've found a lot of fossils there. That's why I also think this is a fossil. I found like little starfish-like fossils, etc. And this one, it turns out, actually works really well as a tamper, because it's got that kind of slightly bent-in bit there, and a slightly more pointy end here. It's a nice little thing to have as part of the pipe set, with a lot of history to it. Yeah, so that's it. If you find yourself looking for any blend to try in the autumn, if you're not necessarily looking for an English blend, I mean there are many really good English blends as well, but I've chosen to focus on some non-English autumn or winter blends, then by all means try one of the three that I suggested: Haunted Bookshop, Bothy Flake, and River Plug. So that's it from me. I hope you're all well. Take care, and goodbye.